Good evening. It's 6 o'clock on today. To welcome and thank you for joining us tonight for the English edition of Aura News, where we bring you today's top stories translated into English every weeknight. The Minister of Justice was invited to our program Tonight Ilva Tare and responded to the Democratic Party's accusations regarding the government's amnesty, stating he feels the opposition's accusations are political. The new laws of the judicial reform have entered into power, but as the vetting law is suspended, implementing these new laws is currently impossible. This is causing chaos in the system and, according to the minister, needs to come to an end. The new institutions should be created with or without the vetting law, as the situation in the justice system is in chaos. The institutions should be created as soon as possible. The Supreme Council of Justice and the General Inspectorate need to be created. The Democratic Party should not appeal the vetting law to the Constitutional Court. They voted in favor of the judicial reform in Parliament, declared the Minister of Justice. He also noted that the Democratic Party has made a mistake in attacking the state police over the cannabis trafficking and still believes that the military can be put into action, if necessary, to fight the cannabis phenomenon. The General Director of Organized Crime reported today at the Parliamentary Inquiry Commission regarding the IMSI catcher equipment. The Director of Organized Crime refused to provide information regarding the tapping equipment. The chairman of the commission, the Democrat MP Flamur Noka, is calling the director's refusal to answer non-ethical. According to the Democratic Party, the silence code is being followed by the Minister of Interior, the State Police Director, and the General Director of Organized Crime, and is illegal. They are obligated to answer. The silence code is not ethical. I am concerned by their use of the silence code. This situation is not solved by being silent. The code of silence is a typical mafia code. The silence code cannot save anyone, declared DP MP Noka. But the Director of Organized Crime referred to the criminal code, which does not allow facts to be revealed if they are related to an investigation. Yesterday, the Minister of Interior and the State Police Director refused to give information on the tapping equipment, declaring that they have given all the necessary information to the prosecution. The Albanian government signed a €63.8 million agreement with World Bank for tourism and urban development. The Prime Minister stated his satisfaction with the reform's results and emphasized that tourism has a positive impact on employment. The Prime Minister added that the government aims to employ 250,000 people by 2025. The Prime Minister gave assurances that his government will take another mandate to successfully conclude the initiated projects. Tourism has an impact on employment. There are 51,000 people employed in this sector, but we aim to employ 250,000 by 2025. We have undertaken important reforms. 3 important reforms have guaranteed the turning point the country has taken: the reform in the energy sector, the pension reform, and the reform against informality, which, though difficult, has given results. We are satisfied with the results, and we are optimistic that we will continue to succeed in this direction. The reforms we have undertaken were delayed. There would not be costs and consequences had they been taken years ago, declared the Prime Minister. World Bank will finance €63.8 million for constructing the South Tourist Bypass. The agreement was signed on Tuesday in Tirana by the Minister of Finance and the Director of the Albanian World Bank Office, Tasin Sayed. The project with World Bank includes 4 zones: Gjirokastra, Beriti, Saranda, and Permeti. The Minister of Finance declared that tourism and urban developments help overall economic development. The agreement is related to urban integration. The project guarantees development in tourism and urban projects. Tourism is a sector of priority for Albania, said the minister. The project signed with World Bank is part of the urban renaissance, and it will be a responsibility of the Ministry of Urban Development and the Albanian Fund for Regional Development. Assembly Speaker Ilir Mehta signed a cooperation memorandum today with the rector of Tirana University. Mr. Mehta asked the political parties to be represented by more intellectuals and professors. I would like that the political parties find the strength to be represented by more intellectuals and professors so that the power of their opinions comes not only through expertise, advice, and through a cooperation that will start today, but also through a more active participation of intellectuals and professors in decision-making, as the country needs them. The Assembly needs them, said the Assembly Speaker. The ruling coalition has not yet found consensus on the waste law. The Socialist Movement for Integration thinks that a detailed analysis and hearings with stakeholders are needed in order for the law to be accepted by all parties. We need sustainable development of the country and wise politics in order to benefit as much as possible and to have manageable costs. Considering that decision-making is often hasty, not only because of political will, but due to lack of proper knowledge in certain areas, we note, for example, in regards to the waste law, the decision needs to be preceded by studies, debates, research. There are some new areas for which even the professors need to be updated, not to mention the MPs, declared the Assembly Speaker. The cooperation memorandum signed with Tirana University will offer practice for students and the inclusion of experts in important reforms. Civil society organizations have expressed their concern regarding the delays over implementing the judicial reform. According to civil society, the Constitutional Court should treat the vetting law with priority. Now that the Venice Commission officially responded to the Constitutional Court's questions, the court should review the vetting law issue with priority. Realizing the judicial reform is in the citizens' interest, and it is also a precondition for our future in the European Union. We are aware that any complaint made in Constitutional Court is reviewed with impartiality, but at the same time, we think that the court should make a decision as soon as possible. Believing that the Constitutional Court will evaluate the Venice Commission's opinion with responsibility, we will closely follow this issue and the implementation of the reform in order to make sure that the citizens' interests are protected. The Albanian citizens want the judicial reform. There is no time to lose, declared a member from the civil society during a media briefing. British ambassador to our country, Duncan Norman, commented on the number of abandoned Albanian children in the United Kingdom. During a meeting with the Regional Social Service, the British ambassador spoke on the concerning phenomenon, stating that there are around 400 unaccompanied Albanian children in Britain. There is a high number of abandoned children in Britain, as many as 400. They are 15 years old and unaccompanied by their parents or relatives. Most of them come from the city of Kukas. We are trying to find the opportunity to return these children to a safe environment in Albania, said the British ambassador. The director of Regional Social Services declared that 15 children have been repatriated from the United Kingdom in 2016 alone. Kukas is among the cities with the highest number of families that have migrated to Britain. That's all for our English edition this evening. Please join us again Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. for your local news in English. My name is Mari, and on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.